Let's bring you this story now. The Department of Trade and Industry and Competition is holding nationwide workshops to alert businesses of opportunities presented by the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement as booster of economic growth. Business reporter Ntokozo Khumalo is at one of these workshops and joins us live now. Ntokozo, good morning to you. The economy is in a precarious position, and perhaps that's putting it mildly, because there are those who are saying suggestions of a recession are really worth talking about now. How do businesses intend taking advantage of the opportunity brought on by the African Continental Free Trade Area?
Good morning, Xoli. Indeed, that's what we are finding out today. I am at the Constitutional Hill at one of those workshops focusing on the Gauteng province. But of course, implementing the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement is something that South Africa is really looking to boost in all provinces in the country, giving those businesses the opportunities to get into the rest of the continent. And that's really what these workshops are aimed to do. But for a little bit more detail on that, I am now joined by the DTIC's Director of African Bilateral Economic Relations, Calvin Pume. Thank you so much for talking to us. Now, the DTIC has been part of the AfCFTA implementation drive, and we really are seeing some of these workshops that are taking place across the country. Talk us through how getting more South African businesses to trade on the rest of the continent could not only improve the country's economic growth trajectory, but also our position on the continent.
Thank you so much, Ntokozo, and greetings to your viewers too. What we are busy doing now, you will recall that as SACU we have submitted our offer to the African Free Trade, Continental Free Trade Area Secretariat. Our offer has been accepted, and then we are bound to start trading under the AfCFTA on the 1st of August this year. As the country, we are very much excited by this, because it's going to give us a more opportunity to look into new markets, especially North, West, Central and East Africa, where we have been banking as South Africa. The private sector has been beginning to enter that market. So we are very much excited about this development.
And Calvin, one of, or some of the sectors that you did highlight this morning is, manufacturing, agro-processing and so on. And we are in Gauteng, which is not only a top 10 economy on the continent, but is a major economy for South Africa as well, and South Africa's GDP. Maybe just give us a panoramic view of some of those sectors that you are focusing on to really get them trading with the rest of the continent.
So we are focusing mostly on 6 sector master plans that we have derived from the department, where we have seen a huge increase of exports. Where we can leverage on those sectors is where we can see that it will suffice the domestic market and also for exports. These are your steel and fabrication, agro-processing and agriculture, sugar value chain, automotive industry and forestry. So these are the huge sectors that we see growth within the Republic, and that has got potential for exports. And we did a study that showed that indeed these are the sectors that that are going to yield a positive outcome in terms of going all out there for creating opportunities for our South African companies. And the other thing that you did ask, I didn't get to that more, about the series of workshops that we are undertaking. So Cabinet has approved an action plan on the operationalization and implementation of the AfCFTA, whereby we are going to reach out to all 9 provinces. We are working closely with the provincial investment promotion agencies to make sure that we get private sector, women and youth-owned enterprises, SMMEs, and export-ready enterprises to know about the opportunities derived from this agreement. So we have done one already with KZN, with KwaZulu-Natal. We were in partnership with the Trade and Investment KwaZulu-Natal. Today we are here with the Gauteng and Growth Development Agency, GGDA. On Friday we are going to Limpopo. We are having the same workshops with Limpopo, so that we reach out to all corners of the country, about these immense opportunities that is upon us.
And one of the priority areas is obviously the township economy. Talk us through, how do people, business people in the township economy, prepare themselves for these opportunities? Because that is some of the information that you're sharing, that while we are in the theme of implementation, once that is done, how do they really get the ball rolling?
Indeed. These are the people that we are targeting mostly. The township economy is one of the fundamental building blocks of the economy. So we have seen over the years that the township economy brings prosperity within our local communities. So under this agreement, entrepreneurs, women and youth, old and young, you can try and make sure that you develop a product that has got a capacity to be traded outside the borders, because it's where you will derive more revenue, because you will be able to bring to South Africa the foreign currency that is going to boost our economy. So in partnership with the Gauteng Growth and Development Agency, we want to reach out to each and every corner of their stakeholders to make sure that they understand the opportunities that are within this agreement.
And Calvin, do we have a number of just how much of a dent, a positive dent, to the economy that once we see AfCFTA actually rolling, that it could have for South Africa?
Ntokozo, this agreement is going to be a massive benefit, especially for us as South Africa that is still battling with the triple challenge: unemployment, inequality, and poverty. So by reaching out to other markets where we can be in a position to trade with them, that is going to bring a positive outcome for our people. You'll recall that the AfCFTA will allow South African business people to have access to 1.3 billion people on the continent. That's huge. It's huge. And remember, South Africa, we are one of the countries on the continent that has got an advantage of exporting the manufactured goods that the continent requires. So we want to displace all these other African, the European countries, the West, that have got a lot of advantage within the African continent. So we want to boost the intra-African trade.
Calvin, thank you so much for talking to us. Of course, that was Calvin Pume, who is the Director of African Bilateral Economic Relations at the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition, just talking us through those workshops to really make businesses across the country aware of some of those opportunities that the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement presents for their businesses, but also as a driver of South Africa's economic growth. Of course, we know that tomorrow we are expecting the latest GDP numbers for the first quarter out of Stats SA tomorrow. A recession forecast by some analysts, but Pume just highlighting that these are some of the interventions that his department is taking to ensure that we do see economic growth. For now, that's it for me. Xoli has more of your leading stories after the break.